Good morning. I hope you are all well. Although we all know it's a hard time all over the world, we need to help each other to continue our semester. So I hope I hope you will find this way an easier way of learning in the meantime. So, our lesson for today is about the cardiovascular physiology of the heart. Last time, as you remember, we discussed or we explained the anatomy of the heart. We discussed the anatomical structure of the heart briefly. We discussed the layers, the valves, the arteries, the veins, the coronary arteries, etc. So today we're gonna move to study the physiology of the heart. So let's start with our objectives. At the end of this chapter, you will be able to differentiate between the systemic and the pulmonary circulation. You will be able to know the components of the conduction system of the heart, and you will be able to trace the conduction pathway. Moreover, you will be able to know the phases of the cardiac cycle and describe each phase. And you will be able to know about the stroke volume, the heart rate, and the cardiac output. So, as a quick review on the anatomy of the heart is divided into two sides, a right side and a left side by a septum. There are 4 chambers in the heart. We have 2 atria at the top of the heart and 2 ventricles on the bottom of the heart. There are special arteries and veins in each chambers, and as we said, and as we remembered, the main artery in the left ventricle is the aorta, and the main artery in the right ventricle is the pulmonary artery, whereas the atria has the veins. The pulmonary veins are found on the left atrium, and the superior and the inferior vena cava are found on the right atrium. So as we said that the blue color is transferred or related for the deoxygenated blood, and the red color is for the oxygenated blood. We have the atrioventricular valves, and we have the pulmonic valve on the aorta, on the pulmonic valves on the pulmonary artery, and the aortic valves on the aorta, and these two are known as the semilunar valves. We have the atrioventricular valves on the right. It's the tricuspid valve between the right atrium and the right ventricle, and we have the mitral valve between the left atrium and the left ventricle. We said also that we have to know the rule that all arteries carries oxygenated blood unless one artery اللي هو exception, which is the pulmonary artery that carries deoxygenated blood. And the same for the veins. We said that we have a rule that says all veins carries deoxygenated blood unless the pulmonary veins are those veins that carries the oxygenated blood. So if we want to move on and discuss briefly about the pulmonary and the systemic circulation, because I said before we have a small and a big circulation. The small circulation is related to the pulmonary circulation, and the systemic circulation is known as the big circulation. So the right side of the heart receives the blood. Okay, and the right side of the heart is here, and the right side. The right side of the heart receives the venous blood of the body through what? Through the superior and the inferior vena cava, as we can see here. The inferior vena cava is bringing the deoxygenated blood from the lower parts of the body, and the superior vena cava is bringing the deoxygenated blood from the upper part of the body. So this blood, as I said, comes to the right side of the heart through the superior and inferior vena cava, which enters in the right atrium. Okay? Then the blood flows into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. Then blood leaves the right ventricle through the pulmonic valve اللي هو is found on the pulmonary artery. Then the only واللي قلنا عنه إنه هو it's the only pulmonary artery that carries the deoxygenated blood. Then the pulmonary artery divides into the right and left pulmonary arteries to transport the deoxygenated blood from the right side of the heart to the right and left side of the lungs. Okay? pulmonary arteries هيعملوا branching into smaller and smaller arterioles until they reach the smallest units اللي هن بنقلهم the pulmonary capillaries, the pulmonary capillary beds where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange occurs. So here the oxygen CO2 exchange occurs at the level of the pulmonary capillary bed. Then we have 4 pulmonary veins as we said in the left اللي هن حيجوا على left atrium. عنا 2 from the right lung and 2 from the left lung. Okay, and they are very clear here. We have 4 pulmonary veins. We have 2 left pulmonary veins from the left side, and we have 2 pulmonary veins which are coming from the right sides. ومثل ما قلنا إنه these pulmonary veins they carry the oxygenated blood. Okay, they carry the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left side of the heart. Then this oxygenated blood, as we can see here, okay, the deoxygenated blood which comes from both pulmonary veins, okay, مش from both, from the 4 pulmonary veins, flows from the left atrium, as we can see here, through the mitral valve اللي هو the atrioventricular valve between the left atrium and the left ventricle, and out through the aortic valve يلي هو موجود وين on the aorta, and then into the body. Okay, هيدي into the body, the flow of blood into the body is the systemic circulation, and that the blood اللي ظهره راح على lungs is the pulmonic circulation.